Welcome back to Store University, Lesson 3, the V Formula. I'm Chris Volk, CEO of Store Capital. In the previous video, I discussed the creation of the V Formula. So now I'd like to talk about its 6 variables. So first is sales. The notion of return on equity, or ROE, is heavily sales driven. The greater the sales are, the greater the operating profits. Now the next variable, number 2, is investment. And here I'm not just talking about the assets on a balance sheet. I'm talking about those assets at cost that have to be funded with debt or equity. So think furniture, fixtures and equipment, or real estate. But also think working capital, which is the difference between assets like cash on hand, accounts receivable, inventory, prepaid expenses, and non-interest-bearing sources of capital like accrued expenses and accounts payable. Why do I have the assets at cost rather than their depreciated value? Because depreciation is an accounting convention. It lessens the amount invested in the company when the amount invested never changes. In doing so, it also reduces the amount of shareholder equity when the amount invested in cash by shareholders does not change accordingly. So the third variable is annual capital investments. These are investments made in plant and equipment that have no end. Every year, companies must make ongoing capital expenditures to replace worn-out equipment, furniture, and building components. Now, in addition, companies often undergo more major remodeling every 5 to 10 years, which is designed to retain their competitiveness. Businesses oftentimes think of this as a unique expense when it's not. Lastly, losses on the sale of underperforming assets can also be a form of recurring capital investment if you regularly have a few locations that underperform. So now we're halfway through the V formula to compute shareholder equity rates of return. In our next video, I'll discuss the final 3 V formula variables. Until next time, I'm Chris Volk, and thank you for joining me.